Hi, this is Max, and today I'm gonna do the Let's Build of Halo Master Chief uh, Level 3 from Sprukits. Uh, yeah, let's begin.
Okay, so I decided to dub over this video because it was originally 2 hours of me talking about nonsense and building at a really slow pace. Plus, I was talking like you heard in the beginning of the video. I don't think you guys want to watch that, so it's 8 times the speed. So here we go. Right now, I'm taking out the sprues and putting them in order by letters because if I don't do that, I'll get confused, and the instructions will have each piece in letters and numbers. Now, that paper says keep pieces on the sprue until needed. I don't really pay attention to that because I'm more experienced, but I can see why that's important for beginners. Right now I'm looking for the pieces I need for the head. And that silver sticker right there is for the visor, and those orange pieces are also part of the visor, and if you put them all together, it'll give it a nice shiny look. Kind of like in the game. Now, I haven't played Halo much, but um, I know of it. I only played it once at high school when a friend of mine gave me a copy of it via USB. I only played the multiplayer, so I didn't know what or who Master Chief was until I watched the Death Battle and some other reviews. Now, when I was watching Death Battle, I was like, man, if only that guy had some model kits, I would definitely buy it. And then years later, Sprukits came along and they made it. So I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for this and the smaller one. So at this point, while I was recording this, I was talking about what genres of anime I like. I like mecha anime. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't be building Gunpla or anything. For mecha anime, I like Gundam. Again, if I didn't like Gundam, why would I be building Gunpla? So it's a given. For a Gundam, I like Gundam Wing at the very top because that's what I first watched. Um, then I like G Gundam because it's very crazy the different types of Gundams they have. So yeah, I like Gundam. For Gundam Wing, I watched the Endless Waltz part first, and then I watched the original, so I did it backwards. Endless Waltz is like the end to the end kind of thing. Um, so when I was five-ish, that's when it came out, and I watched it every Saturday on Toonami. And I always wanted the model kits, but I was too young and I couldn't really convince anyone to buy it for me. So 5 years ago, I finally got the chance to get Gundam Wing, Wing kits, and that's when my hobby began really. So with the Gundam Wing, I like the mobile suit designs and the dark story that it had, and plus the dialogues were written like Shakespeare, kinda, um, which was also pretty cool. I like G Gundam, but a lot of people don't like it because it deviates too much from the original way of writing the Gundam stories. It's basically a fighting tournament, but the pilots are using the Gundams to fight in the tournament, so that was a bit different, but I liked it. Um, I like the RX-78 Gundam and that Gundam anime, which is the very first Gundam anime, um, because it's the very first and it was written decently well for when it was written. Then I like Double O. Double O is I feel like it had unique looking kits and unique story. All the tragic flashbacks it had for the pilots, all the all the strategies in each battle. I think those were pretty cool. Um, for other mecha anime, I like Mazinger Z because that's the very first of its kind, first of the mecha genre, I think. If not, it's one of them. So it's the old style, and I like old style. In fact, I liked it so much that I wanted to buy a Chogokin or however you say it, which is basically the toy collection version of them. but I could never get a hold of them. They were too expensive, so I decided to make one out of Bionicle parts and paper, and I think it turned out nice. Um, I like the Brave series. The Brave series is basically aimed for kids, and I watched it when I was very little. A good example of it is Gao Gaigar, so if you don't know what Brave series is, just look up Gao Gaigar. But anyways, that was a really fun series to collect. I used to have one. I don't know where it went, but I'll try to get another one. I did buy the model kits for Gao Gaigar, the Super Deformed, or D-Style they call it. So I'll review it at some point. So there's the Mecha genre. I also like ecchi. Yes, ecchi, the stuff that perverts like. So they say. Now, I noticed a lot of YouTube reviewers for anime, they say that they don't like ecchi, they can't watch ecchi. Not all of you guys, but some of you. And here's my problem with that. If you watch anime, you'll notice that everything is ecchi now, unless it's specifically made for younger audience. So either you're saying you're watching younger audience anime, which is weird in that way, or you're just a huge hypocrite. Because it's like saying, oh, I can't watch anything with violence, but I did like the Lord of the Rings books, so I'm gonna watch Lord of the Rings. Or it's like saying, I can't watch magic related stuff on movies, and I'm gonna go watch Lord of the Rings for the sword fights. It's kind of like that. It's nonsense. There's magic in it. Just, a good example of people who don't say they can't watch ecchi anime. In fact, these people typically adore it. One of them is the Anime Man. I follow him, and I'm like, after watching his videos, I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with saying I like ecchi? There's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, my philosophy is, if it's there somewhere and you watched it anyways, don't say you can't watch ecchi, because you will at some point. My first ecchi anime that I saw was Love Hina. I was 7 years old. Now, it's not because I was 7 when I first watched it that I'm okay with ecchi. It's the fact that ecchi's everywhere. I'm now 20 years old, so this was about 13 years ago. So this anime is a bit old, but I do recommend it. So I also watched High School DxD, High School of the Dead, To Love Ru, Kiss Exis. Let's see now. Oremo. So I watch a lot of ecchi stuff. So yeah. Another genre I like, I guess you could just call it sad or tragic. Kind of like Key anime from the Key visual novel company, and Toradora, stuff like that. And I like anime that are pretty much an epic, kind of like Berserk and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I put that as an epic because of the way the story's written. I also like survival anime. Kind of like Gantz. It's a type of survival anime. And Log Horizon. For slice of life anime, anything slice of life I can watch. For comedy, I watched Shin-Chan and Atashinchi. Now, if you don't know what the original Shin-Chan's like, because you're thinking, oh, Shin-Chan's for adults from Adult Swim. Originally, Shin-Chan was for 7-year-olds. At least that's what it said in Korea. 7-year-olds and up. So I don't know what went wrong here when they brought it here and said, "Oh, rated MA for mature." I don't know what happened because they put the bad words there on purpose. In the original, it didn't have any of those. I mean, I guess Shin-chan showing off his ass and doing that dance thingy, that could make it kind of wrong, but it's not rated M or MA. You know, it's not that. Atashinchi is this story about this family and the funny stuff that happened to them. So, yeah, those are great animes. So, there's the genres. There's the stuff I watch. I'll review some of these that I watched. But again, this channel is mostly for model kits, so the model kit part will always like outshadow or overweigh the anime review part or manga. At this point, I talk about the tools you will need for building normal Gunpla. Because on this thing, you just pop the pieces off. But on the normal one, you have to cut them off. You can't pop them off. If you do, you'll leave really horrible looking scars on the plastic. Some of them are stretch marks, some of them are indentions that shouldn't be there. Now to avoid this, you'll need a cutting tool, like nippers or clippers. A nail clipper will do fine if you can't get any. You will also need a hobby knife to clean the mess up later. You will also need tweezers because you will have to pick up little pieces like stickers and V-fins and eyes. You will also need masking tape because if you want to paint over something, there you go. It's a great way to not mess things up. You will also need Gunpla markers for painting over the kit or fixing little stress marks if you did make any. Gunpla markers are basically like paint markers, except it's specifically for plastic models. And if you use paint markers that aren't meant for plastic, it will peel off. So if you want to use that, use a primer first. If you want to make it look extra detailed, you will need one of those decals that they sell online. And also, you will also need the what do you call it? It's part separator, because if you make a mistake and you have two halves of a leg or something and you try to pull them off manually, chances are you'll break a peg and you'll have to glue them. You'll also need plastic cement. It's kind of like rubber cement, if you know how that works. You apply it the same way. You let it dry, and then you put them together, and that'll prevent seams from making a problem. Seams are generally in older kits, on the legs, on the arms, on the waist, and using plastic cement and then sanding it off, it'll hide it really well. If you can't get access to that, then get super glue and use as little as you can of it. Right there I'm using some stickers, and I cut out the Bandai stickers so I could put it on the stand, because with most Bandai kits, if not all of them, I cut off the Bandai part of the sticker sheet and then I put it somewhere to indicate it is indeed from Bandai. So there we go, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. My throat's really dry right now because this is actually my 20th recording, because someone opened the door, or I kept messing up because someone's knocking on the door, or I forgot what to say and I just stopped there. And this is the only successful one. So yeah, thanks for watching.